Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks so much for joining me here on Wizard's Rest. As we dive into Hogwarts Legacy, we're going to be breaking down all the details, all the news, information, everything we know so far about the upcoming sequel. I love Hogwarts Legacy. This morning, I've just been diving in. I've been walking around, exploring the environment, enjoying the scenery. I've got a nice cup of tea here, so I'm all nice and relaxed with my cup of tea and just been enjoying the game. I've been playing it a lot more recently. I find it cathartic, it's chilling. Put some music on in the background while you just explore the local area in the countryside. And, you know, everyone's having a good time. But anyway, that's enough of me talking. Let's start getting into these details and let's start talking about what we know so far about the upcoming sequel. And bear in mind, guys, even if you're not a big gamer, it's pretty important from a Harry Potter standpoint because there's said to be heavily tied connective tissue between the upcoming Hogwarts Legacy 2 and the HBO Harry Potter series. So, even if you're not a big gamer, you want to try and stay informed, guys, because there's going to be crossover between the story of the game and the upcoming series. But anyway, with that down, let's start jumping into this. Okay, so up first, we're going to be talking about the development status and the timeline. So pre-production to active development. Rumours of a sequel surfaced as early as September in 2023 from insiders like My Time to Shine Hello. For those who may not know who that is, on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days, My Time to Shine Hello, they're like an industry insider when it comes to movies, but they also talk about gaming and other kind of media platforms. They get a lot of things right, they get some things wrong, so do take their information with a grain of salt. I'm just letting you guys know. But official confirmation came in September 2024 when Warner Bros. Discovery CFO Gunnar Wiedenfels called it one of the biggest priorities in a couple of years down the road. By November 2024, Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment President David Haddad confirmed it was in production and a very big priority, with the team coordinating narrative elements with HBO's upcoming Harry Potter TV series. So there we go, guys. It's pretty much confirmed at this point. There's going to be narrative elements, connected threads and tissues from Hogwarts Legacy 2 to HBO Harry Potter series. But how big is that connective tissue going to be? Are there going to be characters crossing directly from one to the other? Is it just going to be kind of a timeline or like just like very, very small connective threads about, you know, stories that are going on between the two mediums? We'll have to wait and see how big that kind of crossover between the two actually is. So, expected around 2026 to 2027, so around about the same time that the HBO series is going to be coming out. To capitalize on the HBO series hype and to release this game around the same time absolutely makes sense. You know, you're kind of killing two birds with one stone, as they say. You've got all the hype, the momentum, the marketing for the HBO series in 2027. Then you release Hogwarts Legacy 2 just before to capitalize on that same hype. It absolutely makes sense that you would do both of those at the same time. So, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier reiterated in February of 2025 that Avalanche is working on it alongside new content for the original game. So, when it comes to DLC and additional content for Hogwarts Legacy, one of the basic features that fans have always wanted and missed is the game of Quidditch. For whatever reason, Quidditch was never involved in Hogwarts Legacy. Maybe it was time constraints, maybe it was too difficult to implement because of the physics of the game itself. Whatever the reason is, it's one of those DLC content patches that fans have always hoped would arrive at some point. But anyway, with that down, let's keep going here. So, moving on to progress. Started in pre-production post-launch of the first game, which began development around 2018. Most of Avalanche's team shifted from ports, e.g. working on the Switch version in November of 2023, or the Switch 2 port in June of 2025, and maintenance to the sequel by mid-2025. So it sounds like most of the teams that were working on the other ported versions of the game on other consoles shifted their focus from those ports onto the actual sequel by mid-2025, with small teams handling ongoing support. So, no announcement yet. Fans speculate a reveal in mid-2026, for example, the Summer Games Fest or the Game Awards, but nothing official as of November 2025, and it's still in early to mid development. So, moving on to this, the biggest question I'm sure a lot of you guys have on your minds: when can we expect the release of Hogwarts Legacy 2? Well, let's start talking about this, the release date speculation. No confirmed date, but estimates point to a late 2026, early 2027, or 2028, based on a 4 to 5 year AAA game cycle. To me, it would make sense to have the Hogwarts Legacy 2 game release in the same year as the HBO series, which is in 2027. That's if the series isn't delayed. Having those two products release in the same year makes a lot of sense. All the hype and fan excitement that's built around the HBO series can then also be used to market Hogwarts Legacy 2. Also, if there's going to be connective tissue from the game to the series, having them released in the same year, again, makes a lot of sense. Building on the anticipation, building on the excitement, having that connective tissue, releasing the two products in the same year. That makes sense to me, but I would love to know what you guys think about that. So, also it goes on to say, in alignment with the HBO series, Warner Brothers wants synergy, but rushing is unlikely after the original's delays. The original game was announced in 2020 and it was released finally in February of 2023. So from the announcement to the actual release, there was a 3-year wait for fans, which kind of sucked. But it was worth it because the game was pretty damn good. Okay, so up next, which platforms can we expect Hogwarts Legacy 2 to be released on? Pretty much every platform imaginable, I could guess. Okay, so it's expected on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, the core gen focus, likely Switch 2, an enhanced port like the original, unlikely to be on PS4 or Xbox One due to age and tech demands. Potential Unreal Engine 5 upgrade from Unreal Engine 4. So, there's a lot of people out there that don't like the use of Unreal Engine 5 for whatever reason, but yeah, if you guys are still on the previous gen consoles, like PS4 or Xbox One, don't expect this game to release on those old generation consoles. I mean, they are pretty damn retro technology by now, and a game like this, the sequel to it, the technology that's going to be used in Unreal Engine 5 to make this game absolutely incredible, even more incredible than the original. It just cannot run on old hardware like PS4 or the Xbox One. And trying to port this game onto that old technology would be to the detriment of the overall game for people wanting to play it on the latest technology and the latest generation of consoles. So they're going to opt out of those older consoles like PS4 and Xbox One. So in the next couple of years, if you haven't yet upgraded to the next gen, maybe bear that in mind for when this game releases if you want to play it for yourself, guys. Okay, so with those consoles down, let's move on to this, the story and gameplay expectations. So, narrative ties. A direct sequel continuing the 1890s timeline. Player as a 6th year student. Is that going to continue, or are we going to be moving on to another part of kind of the timeline of being a student? Are we going to go back to being a first year student? Is it going to continue with the 6th year student timeline? We'll have to wait and see. Big picture coordination with HBO Harry Potter's reboot. Covering books and movies, possibly influencing the lore and events without strict canon overlap. Fans speculate ancient magic consequences, branching endings, and new locations, for example, the Ministry of Magic or other schools. I want to see Azkaban. I would love to see Azkaban implemented in the Hogwarts Legacy 2. I think that would be so incredible, walking around the prison and seeing the different prisoners and stuff like that. I think that would be really awesome. Not sure whether they would do that or not. Okay, the gameplay. Builds on open RPG elements with spells, exploration, combat, hopes for Quidditch, like we already talked about. Quidditch was sorely missed from the first game. Romance, morality, and reputation systems. That's something that I failed to talk about, actually. The reputation system. I would love to have a system implemented into the game where you can become a really good guy, so you can be like a good character, or you can be a bad character, depending on your decisions and what you do within the game world. If you go around doing horrible actions, attacking people, or, you know, doing bad things within the campaign and the story, then you end up becoming like a bad character. And that's something that people want implemented, like a reputation or good character, bad character system. Not sure whether they would go that route, but we'll have to wait and see. Romance, I'm not really sure I'd want romance. That's not something I'm interested in, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who like romance injected into their games for whatever reason. House points, yeah, I mean, house points was the big thing that was missing as well. Adding to the house points. Deeper choices, and recent job listings seek talent for online multiplayer RPG live service elements. Yeah, I mean, again, having online multiplayer element where you can play with other witches and wizards, potentially duel against each other, go on missions together, stuff like that. Live service elements. Hopefully that could be added in as well, but hopefully they don't go overboard with the microtransactions and try and rinse players for skins and outfits and stuff like that, because that just turns people off the video games, and I hate that kind of crap. Okay, world design and fantasy lore narrative, hinting at a co-op or PvP, PvE, progression, events, MMO-like events. Yeah, so you're walking around inside the game, kind of like if you play World of Warcraft, or for those of you who may not have played that game, you're walking around in the world, and there's like big, gigantic events that are taking place, where other players can team up, and they can do a dungeon run, or they can take on a gigantic boss for exclusive rewards, and there's things like big events that you can opt in and out of for exclusive rewards and stuff like that, and that's the kind of thing they could implement here into the game as well, which would be really, really fun. This has divided fans, with petitions against GAAS, fearing games as a live service, petitions against games as a live service, fearing microtransactions like Suicide Squad. For those of you who know, Suicide Squad, this live service game, I should say, came out about a year ago, and the Suicide Squad game, it was rife with microtransactions. People hated the live service element of it. However, March 2025 reports clarified that it's not a live service game. Okay, so people were fearing that it could be turned into a live service game, but it looks like here it says reports have clarified that this will not be a live service game. So it's not going to be a microtransaction free-for-all where they're going to rinse you for all your money. So we should be okay on that front, hopefully. So up last, we're going to move on to this. Context and concerns. Success driver. The original game sold 30 plus million copies by October of 2024, 34 million copies by February of 2025. Can you imagine? This game sold over 34 million copies. That's a big chunk of change there for Warner Brothers, man, and you can see why they're getting straight onto the sequel here. The bestseller of 2023, 406 million hours played. Warner Brothers views it as a long-term franchise. Yeah, I mean, if you sold over 30 million copies of anything, whether it's movies, games, tickets, whatever it may be, man, you get back in the production facility and you start cranking out more of that content. 30 million sales cannot be wrong. So, you know, get on that sequel real damn quick. Okay, challenges. So Warner Brothers gaming struggles. For example, the Suicide Squad flop led to 300 million write-down. Yeah, I'm sure most of you guys know about the story of the Suicide Squad live-action game, but man, that game came out, the hype surrounding it, it looked pretty damn good. You had the Suicide Squad taking on a corrupted version of the Justice League. In theory, it looked like a really good game, and a lot of people were interested, but it came out. The game was just awful. It was bad. It flopped on its face. Within a matter of weeks, the fan base, the player base, I should say, has completely fell off the game. It flopped on its face, and ultimately, they lost nearly $300 million, which is insane. Internal doubts if sequel matches hype. No microtransactions confirmed, which is, you know, a big relief. We don't want any of these crappy microtransactions. Fans want single-player purity, no multiplayer grind. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of companies now think that everything has to be live service, everything has to be multiplayer, everything has to be competitive, but players sometimes just want a great single-player campaign or a single-player game where you can just jump in, walk around, explore the scenery, chill out, relax. You don't have to worry about other players ruining the game for you. You don't have to worry about being competitive, you know, having the latest skins, having the latest equipment, you know, making sure that your player's at the correct level and grinding for equipment. Nobody wants that crap. People just want to jump into a game and enjoy their single player experience. But anyway, guys, that's kind of where we are. That's all the information that we have so far. So the likely release date, I would, if I had to guess, would be 2027. To release in line with the HBO series, as it has connective tissues with the series and the game. That makes a lot of sense to me, so we'll have to wait and see. But like I say, that's everything we know so far. If you have any questions, comments, theories, or anything else you want to talk about regarding Hogwarts Legacy 2, what kind of features would you like to see in the game that were missing from the first game, like Quidditch, reputation systems, romance, stuff like that, or maybe a live service element where you can compete with other players online? Whatever you would like to see, jump in the comment section. I would love to hear your feedback on what you would do to improve Hogwarts Legacy going into the sequel. And with all that down, guys, Thanks so much for being here. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber here at Wizards Rest to help support the content. And most importantly, hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the content we have going on the channel in the near future. And with that down, I will see you in the next video.